Here's your chance at a $100 Amazon e-gift card. Answer 18 questions in my 8th Annual YMYW Podcast Survey, and you are entered to win. Click or tap the link in the episode description, type the secret password YMYW, and let us have it. Your legitimate, complete entries with your honest opinions about what would make Your Money, Your Wealth your favorite, funniest, top, best personal finance podcast will be in the running for the $100. U.S. residents only, no purchase necessary. Survey and giveaway close and winner chosen at 5 p.m. Pacific time on August 31st, 2025. Now, can Beth and Rip retire early, spend more, and die with zero? When should they claim Social Security? Forrest and Jenny have 10 rental properties at age 31. Can they retire at age 50? Joe and Big Al spitball for YMYW audience members who are definitely not fictional characters today on Your Money, Your Wealth podcast number 540. Plus, what are the rules for spousal IRA contributions and required minimum distributions? Memphis wants to know. I'm executive producer Andy Last with the hosts of Your Money, Your Wealth, Joe Anderson CFP and Big Al Clopine CPA, and let's get to our first voice message.
Hi, Andy and Big Al and Joe. We are huge fans of your show and have recommended it to several people who are now also big fans. We are Rip, who is 56, and I am Beth, 51, from Florida, and we're looking for a little spitball. And honestly, I have to admit, I need a little reassurance because I am a little frugal and a bit afraid of running out of money. So we have both been high wage earners for years, and Rip thinks it's time to cash in all of our hard work and start enjoying a semi-retired life and travel more. So Rip is a medical doctor, and I am a successful biotech sales representative. Rip drives an Audi e-tron electric and said he's never going back to gas. I drive a Volvo SUV, which both of our cars are paid for. Rip's drink of choice is a Kentucky bourbon, and I love my mojitos.
Yeah.
So a little about our family. We have 4 kids, ages 18 to 25. 2 are independent, thankfully, and 1 is finishing a master's degree, which is already paid for, and will be independent in 1 year. And the 4th is starting college, which is also already paid for. We have 2 adorable pets, Rosie, our golden doodle, and Emerald, our black tortoise cat. So we are aligned with the philosophy of die with zero. And we actually really plan to die with zero and enjoy life. We plan to provide financial gifts to our kids during our lifetime so that they can enjoy it earlier instead of waiting till we pass away. I'm planning on retiring in 1.5 years, and Rip is planning on transitioning to part-time, where he'll be earning $150,000 per year for approximately 6 years. And he has mentioned that he can easily earn more money if we need it. So the following are our assets. We combined have a traditional IRA of $3.6 million. Our brokerage account is $1 million. We have a Roth IRA worth $100,000. We have a real estate portfolio with rental properties that's worth $1.8 million, and we have no debt on them, and they're generating $150,000 per year after taxes. Our primary residence is valued at $1.6 million, with $200,000 remaining on the mortgage, and we're planning on paying that off in less than 2 years. Our current combined annual income is $770,000, and that's before taxes. Our current spending is approximately $250,000 per year, and we are currently both maxing our IRAs and have been for years. And the extra money has been going towards paying down our mortgage. So this is what our retirement spending goals are. We're targeting a $200,000 per year in spending during the first 10 years of retirement, our go-go years, with the flexibility to increase that spending for travel and experiences if we have the extra money. We recognize the need to bridge a healthcare coverage gap prior to Medicare, and we know that's going to be a significant cost. We'd like to hold on to our real estate until later in retirement, but we are willing to sell it if we need to. The following is our Social Security estimates. Rip at age 62, $34,000 a year. Age 70, $60,000 a year. Mine is age 62, $33,000 a year, and age 70, $59,000 a year. We plan to begin Roth conversions once I retire and Rip goes part-time, so that way we can take advantage of the lower tax brackets after reducing income. And I like to just put a shout out there that we've learned so much about Roth conversions from you guys, and I want to thank you for that. So the following is our questions. Will our plan of me
about time. 4
retiring
minutes in.
and Rip going part-time in 1.5 years be doable? When is the optimal time for each of us to begin taking Social Security? And can we sustainably spend more than $200,000 per year during our early retirement years? Thank you so much for your spitball, and look forward to hearing back from you.
Well, congratulations, Beth. You and Rip have done a phenomenal job of accumulating a ton of wealth here. A pretty easy one, Big Al. They got 150,000 fixed income from the real estate. They want to spend 200, so they need 50,000 from what, $5 million they have liquid, roughly?
Yeah, it looks pretty good. I mean, even if you take their portfolio, Joe, at 3% distribution rate, they got 141,000 they could generate from that without much trouble. Plus, I think Rip will be working part-time and making 150. So they're spending 200 and they're making 300, even without touching their portfolio for 6 years. So I think this looks great. I think that, and likely with the assets that they have, they'll be able to spend quite a bit more later if they want to. But so many things can happen. I hesitate to say in 10 years now you can spend at this level. I think at that point you kind of reassess, but certainly the first 10 years look fantastic. They can spend more than the 200 if they want to. And then what they can do after that is dependent upon how the investments do and how long I think Rip works part-time and all kinds of things, depending upon when they take Social Security.
Right. Well, so she's going to retire. We plan on doing Roth conversions once I retire. So she's retiring next year. Right now they make $770,000 a year. One of the things that she mentioned is that she's doing IRA contributions. So, and they have been for years. So I'm curious on what the basis is within that IRA, and what's the market value of the IRA, because they're not able to take deductions within the IRA. And I'm sure there's opportunity to convert that with the basis sitting in the IRA.
Yeah, true. And we don't know.
Well, I'm just trying to, give them a little bit more meat versus, yeah, looks good. So, okay, that's one thing I would look at. So if you're putting money into an IRA for the last several years, you have basis in the IRA, look at the tax return 8606 form. And if you don't have one, you probably have to kind of go back and look at how many IRA contributions that you made. And then if you did take deductions, you weren't allowed because of the amount of income that you have. So depending on who does your taxes. In regards to Social Security, you have plenty of assets. It really depends on what you want to do here and what assumptions that you want to make. Because, Al, if they don't need the money, I think all the software programs is probably going to tell them to push it to age 70 because they get the delayed retirement credit of 8% per year once they reach full retirement age. But if you run another assumption of taking it at 62 and investing those dollars, you could make more on that. I mean, it really depends on what type of assumptions that you need. Since they're not going to spend it, they could take it and invest it. But I think if I were them, I would probably push off as long as I could.
I think I would too. And at the very least, I would have at least one of them. They have roughly the same benefit. I'd have at least one go to age 70 so that if there's a survivor between the two of them for a number of years, they at least have a higher benefit. And that's particularly important if one wants to take it early, like let's say at 62. I'm actually not opposed to that strategy either. One at 62 and one at 70, just to have a higher benefit when one passes away, but then have use of the money. And as you say, Joe, even investing, I think that would be fine.
Yeah. I mean, we've had Social Security experts on in the past, and you get variants of opinions. What was his name? The one that
Lloyd.
Yeah,
Lloyd,
he always had those awkward pauses that we thought he was done speaking, but then
I forget
he
his
would
last
start
name,
up again.
Yeah.
Lloyd Watnick.
Lloyd Watnick. That's it. Yep.
Yeah, he was. I wouldn't say a proponent, but he had an argument of that if you take it early and you invest in tax-free income, if it can generate X percent, run the math, and you could be better off that way too. But there's a lot more risk involved in that as well. Or if you think Social Security is going to go bust, which a lot of people do, then you might want to take it early. So bird in a hand is better than two in a bush.
You get more benefit. Or if you think there's going to be means testing later, they've got a lot of income potentially, so maybe you take it early. But yeah, I mean, based upon what I would do, I would at least have one person wait till 70. I think that's what I would do. I would consider having that one of the spouses take it early, just for a little extra spending money, particularly during those 10 years they want to spend more money.
Have you read the book or heard of the book Die with Zero?
I've heard of it. I have not read it.
Yeah, I haven't read it.
I would imagine the concept is exactly what it says.
Yeah, you're bouncing the last check to the mortuary, I guess, right?
Right. Yeah.
But interesting, very popular book. It's
to me, I think that's a little tricky because you give all the money to the kids and then you need it for long-term care and you don't have it. Now you're trying to get the money back. I would just be a little careful, me personally, I guess, on that.
Are you going to die with zero?
No, I don't think so.
Well, you got that big ass wallet, so it's going to be hard for you to die with zero.
It'd be hard to spend it all, wouldn't it? Yeah. And you're in the same boat.
Yeah, Brewster's Billions.
By the way, have either of you ever watched the show Yellowstone? That's apparently what Beth and Rip is from.
Yeah, Rip.
Yep.
Yeah, I like Beth. I like Rip too. I love everything about Yellowstone. I like the prequels of Yellowstone. I like the very first one with Faith Hill and I think it's Faith Hill and Tim McGraw.
Yeah, Tim McGraw.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
And then the next one was with good old Harrison Ford. God, so good. So good.
61% of working Americans fear retirement more than death. How can you avoid this retirement panic? This week on a brand new episode of Your Money, Your Wealth TV, let Joe Anderson CFP and Big Al Clopine CPA calm your nerves with 7 practical plans for your income, spending, savings, and healthcare to put you on the path to an anxiety-free retirement. Click or tap the links in the episode description to watch Retirement Panic Button, 7 ways to avoid hitting it, and to calculate your free financial blueprint. Just enter what you have now and what you want in the future into our financial blueprint tool, and it'll calculate the likely range of how much you'll need to reach your retirement goals, all for free. But don't stop there. Armed with your free financial blueprint, schedule a financial assessment with one of the experienced professionals on Joe and Big Al's team at Pure Financial Advisors to go over your blueprint results and help you craft a retirement plan specifically to help you reach your retirement dreams. Watch YMYW TV, calculate your financial blueprint, and meet with our team. Click or tap the links in the episode description to begin taking charge of your financial future. It's all free, so what are you waiting for?
All right, so do we got to... If we have another recording, and if it's more than like a minute and a half, then maybe we save that.
Yeah, there's 2 more of them. One of them is 1:45, and the other one's 3:37.
3:30. That's a little rich. Let's go to the next one.
So you want to do Forrest and Jenny?
Forrest and oh, you guys are so cute. Yeah, let's do Forrest and Jenny here.
Hey, Joe and Big Al. My name is Forrest, and my wife is Jenny. We live in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. I've been listening to your podcast for about 3 years now and really enjoy it. You guys are hilarious and you make my drives into work fun and educational. My drink of choice, I am not a big drinker, but I do enjoy the occasional old fashioned, and the wife likes the sweetest wine she can find.
Ooh.
Getting into the numbers a little bit, we have about 95,000 in our 401ks. 258,000 in Roth, 105 in brokerage. Social Security, if we wait until full retirement age, I would have about $3,500 a month and my wife would have about $3,000 a month. Currently, we have $3,500 a month in rental income from about 10 properties. Once they're paid off, cash flow will be about $12,000 a month in current dollars, not adjusted for inflation. My wife and I are both 31 years old. We're currently spending about $12,000 a month. I imagine in retirement that would go up slightly so we can add some additional travels, check off some of our bucket list items. That is also not inflation adjusted. That's current spending. A little bit more detail. Currently make $350,000 gross, not including the rental income. And we are aggressively saving about $100,000 a year by maxing out our Roth accounts, then 401ks, and then the excess is going into HSA and brokerage accounts. The question is, are we on track to retire at age 50 if we choose to? Thanks so much for the spitball. I'm looking forward to hearing it.
Wow.
Saving
Forrest.
100,000 a year at age 31.
Dude, when I heard, we have 400 rental properties, I was thinking this guy's like 90. What has he
Right?
got? 10 rental properties?
It's crazy.
At
I mean,
31.
at
Dude,
31.
that's like Big Al like. What did you have at 31? Did you have quite a few?
I think I had one rental at that point and my own house. I think that's what I had. I didn't have 10.
What was the most doors that you've ever owned?
I had a 16-unit apartment in Las Vegas for a while. So I think I had like 25 doors at one point.
25.
Yeah, something
that's-
like that.
That's quite a bit.
It's pretty good.
That's a mogul. All right. Well, look at
Well,
this Forrest here.
Anyone saving $100,000 a year and already at 31 has almost $500,000. Yeah, Forrest. I mean, you're going to be in a good shape. I actually ran a little numbers just for fun. So if you take your 100,000, you go 19 years in the future at 7% with 458,000, you'll end up with about 5.4 million at age 50. Yeah, you can kind of do what you want. And if you look at your spending, 144,000 now. I just did a 3% inflation rate, gets you to 250. And I don't know what your rental income will be then. Right now it's 42,000. I just said 60. So you need 190 from your portfolio. That would be a 3.5% distribution rate. The truth is you'll probably be making more on your rentals at that point. So yeah, I think this looks really good. What I would tell you though, being someone that wanted to retire at age 50, and when I got there, it was too early. It was too early to retire. So I think it's a great goal, but I have a feeling by the time you get there, you may still have enough gas in the tank where you want to work a little bit longer and contribute. So that would be my non-financial suggestion or advice. Not advice, but thoughts.
What do you think Forrest does for a living?
Well, hard to say, but he's pretty successful.
Engineer?
At what point can you actually say that you are a real estate professional if you own 10 properties?
It has to be more than
half of your
more than half of what
professional.
you're currently working.
Yeah, it's more based upon time, right? So yeah, it has to be more than half of your working time. So in other words, if you work 2,000 hours in a full-time job, you need to work 2,001 hours in real estate to be a real estate professional. However, let's just say that's Forrest. Maybe Jenny's the one making the money. I don't know, but let's just say it's Forrest. Jenny isn't working that much. She could be the real estate professional and would qualify for the family, which would allow them to take more deductions. So that would be something to consider if they haven't already.
Yeah.
But yeah, this looks great. I mean, so we try to tell people to save 20% of their income if they can get to such a lofty position. 20% of 350 is 70,000. They're saving 100. They're basically in the driver's seat to do what they want, as long as they keep doing this on a go-forward basis. Something else that happens, though, Joe, you can attest to this. Sometimes kids come along, sometimes spending priorities change, and maybe you don't necessarily save the 100,000 each and every year. So I think it's a great goal to try to retire at 50, but I'm just saying from my own experience and others I've talked to, you may want to work a little bit longer. But
yeah,
that's
you could have like a 4-year-old at 50.
You could.
I was going to say, do you still have the gas in the tank to continue working past 50, Joe, or are you ready to call it quits?
Yeah, I'm with Forrest. We're done. but unfortunately, I can't now. I was reading like with the other one with Rip and Beth. Like, yeah, 50. All my kids are out of the house. One's got a master's degree. I'm like, man, I got a 4-year-old. We're just living two totally different lives.
Two different lives. That's okay.
Yeah.
I have a good friend, Joe, who's turning 60 this year, and he's got a not even 1-year-old.
Oh, wow.
So you got all kinds of time on him.
Jeez, who's that? Is he a rock star or something or what? Memphis. Let's go to Memphis. Al, you been to Memphis?
I have not. I've been to Nashville and Chattanooga, but not
I've done
Memphis.
Memphis is cool. It's a great
Chattanooga.
spot.
See the choo-choo in Chattanooga?
I heard the song while I was there. Chattanooga Choo Choo.
Yeah, I've never been to Memphis. I'd like to go to Memphis. My wife bought her wedding dress in Memphis. So,
Oh, okay.
there
So
you
you've
go.
never seen Sun Studio, you've never seen Graceland, you've never seen any of the cool stuff in Memphis. You got to go. It's an awesome place.
Okay.
I've seen it on like TV.
Documentaries.
Yeah. All right, let's go. I drive a 2003 Lexus. It just won't break down. So I have an excuse to spend money to buy a new one. And my beverage of choice is sugar-free A&W root beer. Wow, he's going root beer, A&W, and sugar-free.
Yep.
My wife is retired, and at the age of 73, she began drawing RMDs this year. I'm 74, but still working until next year, July 1st, 2026. So will not be withdrawing RMDs from my 401k or 57 until next year. Can I still contribute $8,000 to her IRA this year and next year as a spousal IRA contribution while I'm still working, even though she is drawing RMDs? Seems too good to be true, but I haven't found a rule against it. Also, can I start withdrawing RMDs in the spring while still working? I still have to withdraw $110,000. What? I will have to withdraw $110,000 next year.
For the RMD.
Now and use it to live on while contributing $31,000 from each of my paychecks to max out the 401k and 457 annual contributions limits in 2026 before I retire in July. That also seems too good to be true. Just making these contributions will save me quite a bit of income tax next year. Thanks for all the years I've been listening to your excellent retirement advice. It's not advice, Memphis. Not advice.
Spitballing.
We're just a couple of kids talking stuff. It has enabled my wife and I to save and plan quite a bit. So for that, thanks, Joe and Big Al. And I'll just throw Andy in there. We'll not have to worry about having enough for retirement. And a special there she is. Oh, my bad. And a special thanks to Andy for her years of putting up with both of you. Thanks so much for considering my questions.
So can he still contribute $8,000 for spousal IRA, even though she's taking an RMD? The answer is yes.
Why?
So he's working.
He must make a lot of money because why would you go in an IRA versus a Roth?
Well, that's the second part of the question. But first part is you're working. You want to do a spousal IRA, but she's of the age where she's taking RMDs. You can still do the spousal IRA even though she's taking RMDs.
Okay.
Yep, you agree with that?
I know there's a rule where but the rules have changed. So no, yeah, I'll go with that. But once you reach 70, I thought you couldn't put money into an IRA, but you could put money into a Roth IRA.
That's the rule that changed. You can put money into an IRA now.
Oh, okay. Right.
That's
so
the rule.
I knew that there was a rule.
It was the Secure Act 2.0, I believe, is when that changed.
Oh, look at the smart, big brain of Big Al.
Yeah, it's just right here. I'm just on vacation. It's still fresh.
It's still fresh as a daisy. All right, but yeah, I would much rather go Roth IRA or do an IRA. But again, I mean, if he's putting IRA contributions for his wife, spousal contributions into the IRA, and he's not going Roth IRA, he's got basis in the IRA that he needs to look at, for conversion purposes or for the pro rata purposes if he's taking distributions from those accounts, because
sure.
he'll pay double tax.
Right. But the bigger question is, can he take his RMD while he's still working and then put his salary, like basically all of it or a lot of it, towards the 401k and the 457.
Yeah, but his RMD or his required beginning date is not till the following year, right?
True. That's
So
true.
he doesn't have to take an RMD next year. He's going to retire in June of 2026, July of 2026. So
Right.
his required beginning date is April 1st of 2027.
Yes, I agree with that. But I think he wants to max fund his 401k and 457. He doesn't have enough money to do it. That's what I'm reading between the lines. So
So
he
it's like,
wants,
can I start withdrawing RMDs in the spring while I'm still working? I will have to withdraw $110,000 next year and use it to live on while contributing $31,000 each from my paychecks to max out the 401k and 457 annual contributions for 2026 before I retire in July. So if his paycheck's coming in and his paychecks can afford to fully fund the 457 and the 401k plan, as long as the dollars come from his paycheck, he could fully fund those plans. And then if he has to take distributions from other assets to live off of because he's putting in, 60 some odd $1,000 into the retirement accounts, yeah, I mean, you could pull money from a retirement account and you could fund your 401k and 457 at the same time. It's like stealing from Peter to pay Paul. It
right.
doesn't do right. You know what I mean?
Well,
You're
but the
paying
other,
taxes on the distributions and you're getting a pre-tax contribution. So
yeah,
I
it
don't know,
just go,
to wash.
but it also avoids two RMDs next year, which is what he'd have to do if he waited to his required beginning date.
No, for sure. But he could, yeah. If he needs to pull money from his retirement accounts to live off of while he's fully funding the retirement accounts, you can absolutely do that. But it doesn't make mathematical sense to do that. Do you agree with that?
No.
Why? If I'm pulling,
Because if he doesn't want to have a double RMD next year, he
yeah,
does his RMD this year, he lives on that, and then he max funds his retirement with that same money, right? So well, he lives off of that, but the funding of his retirement account comes from his paycheck. Then he's hasn't thrown himself into a higher tax bracket.
but his RMD is not 110,000. He just needs to withdraw $110,000 to live off.
Yeah, he doesn't say what his RMD is. You're right, and it doesn't
Right.
really matter whether it's RMD or not.
But what I'm saying is, all right, so Alan, you have to pull $110,000 from your retirement account. Would you add $60,000 to the retirement account to pull $110,000 out? Or would you just not contribute to the retirement account and pull $40,000 out?
I would do the latter, but I'm
Right.
I'm assuming that maybe the RMD is that amount and he has to pull it out, but we don't know. He didn't really say that.
Yeah, but
If
what I'm saying is that if I'm funding a retirement account of 60,000, but then I have to go around and pull $110,000 out of it, it doesn't make sense to put the money in it in the first place because you get a pre-tax contribution going in, but it's after tax. I mean, you're going to pay the tax regardless. The only
Okay, so I agree with your statement. I was just going on the assumption that that was his RMD was 110,000 and he had to pull it out, but I could be wrong.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So he doesn't have to take an RMD till next year, but if $110,000 is the RMD, then he would have to pull out $220,000 next
Yeah,
year.
and then he would do what he's suggesting. If not, if he just needs that to pull it out so he can max fund his retirement account, you're pulling it out and putting it back in. There's no real tax impact if the RMD is in fact lower. I agree
Right.
with that statement.
But if I'm going to fully fund the 401k plan at 61,000, so this is the strategy I would do. He needs $110,000.
Yeah.
We don't know the balances of any of his accounts. He's just asking, hey, I'm in my 70s. I want to still contribute to retirement accounts because I love retirement accounts. He just loves putting money into them.
Yep.
Hey, she's retired. Can I put money into them? Yes. No way. Too good to be true. I mean, he gets really excited about it.
Right.
What I would rather him do is, yeah, if he needs $110,000 to live off, he's going to retire in July. From July until to December, that's what his living number is. That's the nut that needs to crack to. If he has other assets to live off of, I would live off of that, fully fund the retirement accounts. His income is going to be lower than ever before because now he's retired in July. I would do the math on what the RMD is going to be next year. And I would either do a conversion this year and then maybe not do a conversion next year. So there's so many planning opportunities that Memphis has.
Yes.
Because he's still, but I guess to answer his question, and he'll be happy, he's eligible to fully fund both of those plans. And if he wants to do spousal retirement accounts for his wife, he can.
Yeah. So the answer is yes and yes.
Yes and yes. Okay. All right. So that's it for us. We're back on track. Al, then you're leaving for another 3 months?
No, I'll be here for a while.
Okay. All righty. Very cool. Okay. Well, that's it. That's a wrap for us today. Thanks. Where were you, Alan? Just real quick. You were in 5 different countries?
Yeah, I started in Japan, and then I ended up in France, Spain, Sweden, Greece, Austria, and Italy.
What was your favorite?
Oh, I can't answer that. They were all fantastic in different ways. They really were. It was an amazing trip. And I wouldn't have planned to go from Japan to Paris, but it's just the way two different trips came together that were supposed to be separate. But I could fly from Osaka to Paris direct, and I thought, why not? So that's what we did. And we had
reasons. Did you at any point wish that you had been back at work?
Well, I love doing this podcast, but no, I really enjoyed the trip.
Is it too long?
No, not really.
Wow.
Would you still be traveling if you could?
No, I think it was right. I think it was a little bit too long for Anne. So next time we do a long trip, maybe we'll do a month instead of 5 weeks.
Just living out of hotels and luggage and planes, trains, automobiles, 5.5 weeks. I like after 5 days, I'm dead. And then that's just going to Minnesota.
Well, but
maybe that's the problem.
You have young children. That makes a big difference when you're that category.
I could, yeah. All right. I could go a lot of directions there, but I'm not.
Yep.
All right. Well, good. Good to have you back, buddy.
Same. All right.
All righty. And we'll see everyone next week. You listen to what's the show called? Your Money or Wealth.
This is Your Money, Your Wealth, Your Podcast. If you enjoy YMYW, tell your friends and help us reach more listeners and viewers like you. And don't forget to leave your honest reviews, comments, and ratings for Your Money, Your Wealth in Apple Podcasts, on YouTube, and in all the other apps that let you do that, like Amazon, Audible, CastBox, Good Pods, Pandora, Player FM, Podcast Addict, and Podchaser. We're on all of those and a whole bunch more. Your Money, Your Wealth is presented by Pure Financial Advisors, a registered investment advisor. This show does not intend to provide personalized investment advice through this podcast and does not represent that the securities or services discussed are suitable for any investor. As rules and regulations change, podcast content may become outdated. Investors are advised not to rely on any information contained in the podcast in the process of making a full and informed investment decision.